everyone, a very warm welcome to the special interview with Lockie Ferguson. Yes, New Zealand's fast bowler, and now with Gujarat Titans. He's already starred in their last win against Delhi Capitals, getting a figure of 4 for 28. Lockie Ferguson, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us. First of all, it's a good start, so you'd be happy with that?
Yeah, thanks very much for having me on today. Yeah, certainly. It's been nice to settle into a new team. And of course, always nice to start the IPL with 2 close wins. But as I'm sure everyone's saying, there's such a long way to go. It's a big tournament. So you've got to front up each game. So yeah, we've got a few days off this week before we take on Punjab on Friday.
Yeah. I've got to ask you this. Does it make a difference, especially to an overseas player, how the team environment makes you feel?
Certainly, yeah. I think the more inclusive an environment can be, the more you sort of fit in and feel part of this side. Often as overseas pros, we tend to, I guess, change franchises a bit more often than potentially the local players. But I've been very fortunate in my time at the IPL, having this being my 3rd franchise, with the team sort of being super inclusive and creating, I guess, that family. And I know for the Titans, is one of our big sort of things to do for the start of the competition is try to create a culture and a family around the brand, because we are a new team.
Yeah. 10 crores. Now, that's the most you've ever gone for in the IPL. What does that mean for you? Does it sort of up the stakes in your performance?
Look, it's always pleasing when I guess you've got a few teams bidding for you like that. And, I've had, I think it's my 5th year now in the competition. So it doesn't get any easier playing over here, but definitely excited to be part of a side like this. And I think when teams are after you, it's quite humbling. But from my point of view, yeah, I think the business starts when you get on the field, and just want to have a lot of fun playing cricket over here, which I love to do. And certainly fitting into this team, it's been a lot of fun for the first few weeks.
Now, your pace, that is proven an asset, that has been an asset for Kolkata Knight Riders. We saw that in UAE, and it's the same with Gujarat Titans. You clock good speeds, you hustle the batsman. Is that the plan? Just intimidate them with speed?
I think there's probably a little bit more to that. Well, I hope there is anyway. But certainly, I've spoken before that I'm not a huge swing bowler, and pace is, I guess, my bit of X factor. So in T20, there's certain periods of the game where you need to attack, and you need to have, I guess, those types of players. We've got the likes of Rashid Khan, who does it differently, obviously, with spin bowling through the middle, and I guess bowling alongside him has been great. But yeah, I think over the years playing over here, my game's developed. So certainly I think it has to a point that it's not just running in and trying to bowl as quick as I can. But yeah, I think there are times where it does suit it.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's more to unsettle the batsman as well, something that you want in T20 cricket. But I've got to ask you, the key to bowling fast, what goes behind it?
I wish there was a blanket answer for that. I'm not really sure. I get asked it a lot, of course. I think at very bare minimum, you have to want to bowl as fast as you can. And it's not always the easiest job in terms of injuries and staying on the park and things like that. But ever since a young age, I've got a big brother who was always faster at bowling than me, and I just wanted to be quicker than him. And then certainly through my career, it's always been my focus point to just try to bowl as quick as I can, and I guess sort of the accuracy and the skills in and around that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes. I'm sure you've heard it before, but the gym work, the understanding of your body, the stretching, the diet, as I get older, it becomes even more important. So yeah, there's a million things. Probably need a longer interview for that.
Okay. You and Mohammad Shami, you're proving a potent pair. What has it been like bowling with him?
Yeah, great. Our whole bowling attack is pretty star-studded, to be fair. So nice just to fit into a role in that. But certainly when you have someone like Mo kicking the game off for us, he's an absolute wizard, particularly in that game one. That was some of the best bowling I've seen in T20 cricket. He's got that ball on an absolute string, seaming and swinging around corners. So when you kick off innings like that and have that pressure being built from very first ball, it certainly carries through the rest of the innings. And it's been interesting talking to him about how he goes about his bowling. And what he's trying to achieve throughout the game. But yeah, obviously a huge amount of experience and adds so much value to our team, and particularly our bowling attack.
Any tips from Shami when you arrived?
Yeah, he's been trying to get me to swing the ball a bit more. But I said I need to stay in my lane a little bit. But yeah, he's an interesting guy because he can swing it both ways. So to have those sort of skills, I mean, I'm trying to learn as much as I can off him. And change-ups as well. He bowls his change-up slightly differently to mine. So that's the benefit we have of playing in the IPL and these comps, is that you're rubbing shoulders with the greats of the game. And every year I seem to be able to pick up something more that I probably never would have got just playing back in New Zealand. So very thankful for that. But I'm sure as the competition goes on, me and Mo will have some more conversations.
Now, Hardik Pandya, the captain of Gujarat Titans, good to see him, bowl well against Delhi Capitals as well. What has it been like playing with him and him as the captain?
Yeah, great. Yeah, we've got along really well. He's quite quickly earned the respect of everyone in the team as our leader, and I think everyone looks up to him. And certainly playing on the field and in the game in pressure moments, his attitude and demeanour has been fantastic. So you feel very confident playing underneath him, which I spoke about after the last game. And he gives you the confidence to play the game that you see fit as a player. And we've all got our strengths and weaknesses, but it's nice to see him come out with his strengths and bowling so well. And he's actually bowling really quick too. So I'm sure it will continue throughout the comp.
That must have been quite a relief for you all, given that, he was in rhythm and he was bowling quick. This has been the talk even before the IPL began about whether Hardik was going to bowl. But to see him like that in the second game would have been a relief?
Yeah. Oh, look, he's a hungry character. He wants to bat, he wants to bowl, he wants to field. And, he's an absolute entertainer when it comes to that. And I think when you see him steaming in, getting the first wicket like that and really setting that innings alight for us and setting a precedent for the rest of the innings, it's just sensational as a captain.
I've got to ask you, what are the noticeable differences in the dressing room of a new franchise? I mean, of course, you've played a lot of international cricket, but is it any different in a franchise?
Good question. Not really, to be honest. There's a lot of similarities. People always have their different ways of prepping for a game, I guess, but it's all pretty similar. I suppose some other teams, they tend to have their spot that they sit in, but with the IPL how it is this year, that doesn't happen because we're sort of playing on neutral grounds. But nothing's really too different. We sort of just rock up, have some food and get stuck in.
Also, the dew factor, what has been the conversation around it?
Yeah, good question. There was a bit of dew in our first game, Kiwi, so it's certainly going to take some adjusting. Obviously Yorkers tend to be the go-to for the death for a big percentage of the time, but with a wet ball, it can be a lot more challenging. So I think as the tournament progresses, we'll be doing a lot more work in the nets around bowling with a wet ball, and of course fielding with it too. It just adds that extra bit of difficulty. Of course, hopefully Hardik can keep winning more tosses for us and we can bowl first, I guess, because I know the sort of stats sort of point in that direction. But at the same time, the bowling group's been talking a lot about the fact that we want to be that team that defends totals, and certainly regardless of the dew, we want to be that sort of team that makes it tough to reach our totals, even if the conditions are in favour for the batters.
How do you think the tracks will play as the IPL continues?
Look, I think they'll be great. They've been playing obviously well. They've probably left a little bit of grass potentially early on in the comp, but the fact that we've got 4 grounds and they're being very well looked after here, I think that they'll hold up pretty well. I mean, it's obvious to say that they'll probably start to turn a little bit later in the competition. So having a balanced bowling lineup probably is well suited to that. And of course, the likes of Rashid and Rahul Tewatia offer those spin options for us as well. So it'll take adjusting as the comp goes. But yeah, I think they should probably be pretty good.
I've got to ask you about Ross Taylor. A great career, 16 years for New Zealand cricket. What is your message to him?
Yeah, fantastic career. I even remember when I first got the call up to the Black Caps, he left me a voice message that night to say how excited he was to play alongside me in Australia. And I hadn't actually played against him or really met him that much beforehand. So it's always pretty special to get messages like that. And that's the kind of character he is, that he sort of takes the time to go out of his way to make the new players feel welcome. But of course, his records, it's obvious he was a phenomenal player for us. In the big games, most importantly too. So, he'll be missed in our lineup for sure, but his legacy is certainly going to stand on, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of young batters wanting to bat exactly like him.
Okay, talking about young batters, how impressed are you with Shubman Gill?
Yeah, very. I've been fortunate to play with him for the last 4 years now, and played against him in some A games for our countries. But I think every year he's played, he's got better, he's learnt quickly, and he's found a mode of batting that he can really take on teams. And I think, he was a little bit gutted in the first game to miss out, which of course happens, but the way he bounced back in game 2, he's top class. So I know he's gutted about not getting the 3 figures, but I'm sure it's just around the corner. But yeah, certainly if you've got an opener playing like that with the time he has at the crease, you're in good stead for the rest of the game.
Lockie Ferguson, thank you for taking the time out to talk to us, and we wish you all the very best. It is still a long season ahead for you. It's gotten off to a good start, and hope you carry on with that momentum.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it.
There you have it, Lockie Ferguson from Gujarat Titans telling us what it takes to be a fast bowler, what his message has been for Ross Taylor, who's just retired from international cricket, and what is the vision for Gujarat Titans as well. That's it on this special interview. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.